Now, sit back and relax and watch this feature on the real estate industry and its challenges.
Nigeria's real estate industry is as old as the entity called Nigeria itself, if not older. It has grown exponentially in the last few decades, especially in more developed cities like Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Abuja. These cities have provided steady increase in foreign direct investments into the sector, fast urbanization, which has led to a greater demand, and strong corporate demands that were hitherto not available. Some time ago, the managing director of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, had said that the sector is worth 59 trillion naira, but that has been recently disproved.
The housing deficit right now is at 22 million deficit. 17 million was 6 years ago. As our United Nations statistic 2021, we are 22 million deficit in Nigeria. That's over 80 trillion capital.
The real estate business has potential to not only grow in leaps, but also to grow the Nigerian economy.
The real estate industry have capacity to develop the GDP of this nation over 30 to 35%. If we are able to really concentrate on this sector will bring job. This sector will be good standard of living. This sector will help the health sector, because when somebody is living in a good place, you hardly get sick. But when you're living in slums, under the bridge, in some very unconducive environment, such person will definitely get sick. And it also affects education. I used to say that shelter is life, just as they say water is life. Shelter is life, because my brother, if you live in a good place, you will think of good education. Your children will be able to go to school in good time. It affects education, because a child that is living in a slum cannot think of going to school. The parent is looking for more problem, because when you are inside the rain, what do you look for? You look for shelter, an umbrella, where you can hide your head. That's the way shelter is. Shelter is the center part of life. Anybody that have money today, what is he thinking? I need to go and build. Oh. Because you know that shelter is security of life. Shelter is retirement. Shelter is life. Shelter is everything.
But it also has its challenges, which has not helped it expand much faster than it ought to in recent years.
You will see now go through the order of the Omonile as well, because they also don't make it easier. You keep paying and paying and paying and paying for Omonile before they can have access to the land. And then you pay this group, they tell you, oh, you've paid the wrong group, or it's not this group. They will come over and over. Very volatile environments to do business. There are too many discrepancy of titles in a city. There's AMAC, there's a CFO, there's RFO, there's arteries, there's AGIS, there's FCDA. For goodness sake, the confusion is too much. Why not we harmonize for one? Looking at what the pandemic had brought, it had made it more difficult for funding, make it more difficult for people to access mortgage, made it more difficult for people to even have fund. There are no businesses as usual, you know, and the economy is crazy, you know. I mean, look at the rate of dollar today. Most of us import our finishings, and you can imagine how much you were selling a house as at last year and how much you will sell a house this year. You know, cement is almost 4,000 per bag. And then you have a bill of quantity you gave a client for a house for 40 million last year, when cement was possibly 2,800 to 3,000. You can imagine how much the variation will be this year. And then you can also imagine how difficult it will be for such clients to be able to meet up with the new demands of payment. So you see, it's stretching both us, the developer, and even the clients in question, who want to have a house, because everybody wants to have shelter, a good shelter for that matter.
Nigeria possesses all the key factors for real estate development. But Dr. Becky Olubukola, Chief Executive of Beston Homes, who has been in the business of real estate for close to 20 years, says government needs to do more to establish the industry as a stronghold in Nigeria.
One, availability of development fund for developers. Qualified developers like us, Bistan Homes. We've been here for 19 years, we'll be 20 next year. And some of us have developed over 26,000 houses across Nigeria. We have 11 states that we're working, and we have over 18 projects across the states. In FCT alone, we have over 8 projects ongoing. And we still have a lot still going on. Availability of development fund is one big deal that the government could make the provision available for people that are into the development to access this fund. Because
As a loan or
as a loan, because when you have where you can get loan to build, you don't have to start borrowing around, going for commercial loan, going for international loan that is quite difficult to get, and all of that. Two, adequate mortgage system for the clients, for the Nigerian citizen, for the civil servant. The mortgage system we have is not working as much as it should be because the demand is the demand is higher than the supply. We have every day, every month, every year, millions of Nigerians applying for a mortgage. Okay? And those that are able to get the mortgage are just less than 10%, if at all they get. Less than 10% of people are the one getting mortgage. Whereas we have millions of people that applied for this mortgage. So we need to look at what we can do, our government, to make mortgage system available. Look at the European nations. Look at well-developed nations. Look at other African nations. The citizen knows that at a particular time you can easily apply for loan. If you go to Canada, US, London, Dubai, anywhere, they have good access to mortgage. It makes it easier for them to buy a property. Then the developers have good access to fund, government fund. So it makes it easier rather for you to build because you don't have to start borrowing around or selling to get money to build. You know? Then availability of good land on joint venture, on partnership. Then infrastructure development within those environments, within those cities, infrastructure development. You realize that most of us, the developers, had to go source for fund to build, had to go source for the land to buy, had to go source for money to do infrastructure again. Most of the time, we are doing the infrastructure not within your estate, but coming into your estate, government road, state road, local government road, federal government road at times, because you want people to be able to access your project. So you are doing your job, doing the bank job, and doing the government job. How bad?
The pandemic will go soon, but real estate stakeholders will remain. The industry must begin to take necessary steps to shield itself so it can bounce back at the other side of this pandemic. The players must begin to think outside the box for products that will accommodate a Nigerian populace that have less money in their pockets. The Nigerian government and government institutions, such as the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, have a major role to ensure that the 22 million housing deficit in Nigeria does not only become a theme of the past, but also becomes a big opportunity for the real estate sector players.
So there's a need for them in Federal Mortgage Bank to collaborate more with the private sector that are doing so much, like us who are building affordable homes across Nigeria, because we are not in the luxury section where, because luxury is for those who don't chop. Who never chop, no, they think of luxury. And you see, if we don't handle housing issue in Nigeria, it's going to bite both the state government and the federal government as we are going like this. If we don't handle it quickly, because when people are homeless, they will think of robbery. When people are homeless, they will think of harms. But when these people are conducive, I recently talked about the IDP homes, that they need to take them out of camps and have IDP shelter. We in Bista Home propose IDP shelter for all the IDP states.
This is certainly not a day's journey, but processes to ensure that there is a win-win for all in the long run must begin today.